Fallout New Vegas is a game with characters, and the word specimen really wouldn't do a lot of these characters justice. Now, it's safe to say that a lot of these characters all have some massive metaphorical stick up their ass. But what about the characters with literal sticks up their asses? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the power bottoms of New Vegas. Now, I am aware that female power bottoms can exist. However, my videos have been long enough lately, so I'll be staying in the closet and will only be including men in this video. Ladies, don't worry about it. I got a video for y'all in the works. Power bottoms are basically the bottom, meaning they take it up the bum, but they control the sex. They are typically presented as powerful gay men that control the tempo and how they take it. They're usually very dominant and, well, powerful, rather than the typical bottom stereotype of being meek and permissive. Now, with the pointless explanation that you probably skipped through, back to gay New Vegas. Now, New Vegas has a few openly gay characters, however, being gay doesn't automatically translate to power bottom, and being a power bottom doesn't automatically translate to being gay. There can be straight power bottoms. It's a lifestyle. You don't choose the power bottom lifestyle. The power bottom lifestyle chooses you. For this video, there will be power bottoms, and not all of them will be gay because Fallout New Vegas has like 2 gay characters. So try to keep an open mind. Before we go any further, I just want to clarify that this video isn't at all intended to mock or poke fun at actual members of the LGBTQ. If you're power bottom, fucking awesome, slay. I just wanted to get all of this out of the way and clarify it because you never know, there's some people out there who are just praying for your downfall. Now with the rules and guidelines set, let's take a look at every power bottom in Fallout New Vegas. The first and likely easiest character that we're going to be covering is Arcade Gannon. Arcade is one of Fallout New Vegas' very few openly gay characters, but that alone doesn't make him fit the code. He's one of New Vegas' companions, which basically translates that he'd take it in the ass for the courier. Like, not even joking, you can flirt with him, and he just becomes your little simp. Arcade, in addition to being the bottom, is a very bossy, annoying prick. Sometimes. Like, geez Arcade, I'm not allowed to activate an orbital super weapon? You're asking a lot of me. This causes Arcade to be one of the more divisive characters in the fandom, as companions are supposed to blindly obey and not have a personality. I'm looking at you, Fallout 3 companions. Although in all fairness, Arcade isn't usually bossy, which isn't very power bottom-esque. However, Arcade's supposed domination comes from correcting the courier constantly. You're gonna be butt-fucking Arcade, and he's gonna be correcting your form and basically just teaching you the whole way through on how to fuck him optimally. Arcade isn't dominant normally, however, his bossiness comes from annoying. Arcade isn't dominant normally, however, his bossiness comes from annoying passive-aggressive corrections, which are gonna come into play in bed. So, I wouldn't consider Arcade a true power bottom, but he's close enough. Like, do you know how hard it is to make a list of power bottoms from a game that came out in 2011? Anyways, Arcade Gannon is a power bottom as he's a confirmed bottom, purely on the basis that he's a companion, and he's just bossy enough to be dominant in the bedroom. So the verdict? Arcade Gannon is a power bottom. Well, now things are going to get significantly harder, and we're gonna have to read behind the lines a bit more. But I know a guy, or something. God Dog, from the Dead Money DLC. Now, for you fake Dead Money fans whose heart rate shot up to 160 when they heard the word dog, have no fear. He's just a super mutant with multiple personality disorder. Okay, so God Dog has 2 personalities. God, who is an intelligent, impatient, bossy British gentleman who's also just kind of an asshole. And Dog, who is essentially an obedient, loyal guard dog who will do whatever he's told by his master. Ideally you. You see where I'm going with this. Try and just be a little open-minded. So we already have the bottom slot checked with Dog, who can't be topped in the bottom department. And we also have the dominant box checked with God. Now is this impractical? Yes. Would it stop me? Probably not. Now one big hurdle that kinda hurts this game theory is that They are two different personalities that fight for control and are triggered by different holotapes. But that's lame. I propose a different solution. Blunt head trauma. I'll smack him around until he becomes the perfect power bottom. So I believe that God Dog should be considered as a power bottom like everyone else. However, he's just a power bottom with a very high skill ceiling that takes a lot of skill. Those are real. Don't look it up. This one is probably the biggest stretch of the video, so include him at your dismay. He might have shot you at the start of the game, but now it's our turn to shoot something of our own into Benny. You might be hella confused as to why this very apparently straight man with no bottom-like qualities is on the list. But hey, remember what I said? Like 2 gay characters? And besides, Benny's got that shit on. Now, Benifer, on the surface at least, seems like everything a power bottom is not. However, when you think about a lot of his qualities, they seem like double-edged swords and quickly start to resemble a power bottom. Starting with his controllingness, with Benny being a virgin male manipulator who uses other people around him for his own gain. Next is that Benny is a fucking pussy who runs away at the first sign of trouble, which essentially translates to being a bottom. To add to that, Benny is too incompetent in everything that he does to really warrant being in any position of power, sexual or not. As previously stated, the Ben Man is a very controlling person, which checks all the boxes of being a power bottom, and he has just enough powerful and bottom-like qualities, so there is no doubt in my mind that Benjamin Benny Bennerson is in fact a bona fide power bottom. Oh yeah, baby. Now for the real fan favorite. Fisto. Yes, the sex bot. And yes, I'm serious. He's a meme in the community for a reason. Now, Fisto is a prostitute robot that's part of one quest, and has still been immortalized to this day. Fisto, in terms of being a bottom, is a prostitute, so he pretty much lets you choose to make him bottom, because he's getting paid and you aren't. As far as I know. And after a thorough inspection of his model, you start to realize that Fisto doesn't have a schlong, meaning that he's in eternal anal purgatory. So Fisto is more bottom than anyone else to walk the roads of the Mojave. And in terms of domination, Fisto might just be the GOAT. And for a robot, he's still quite dominant, as like the one phrase that everyone knows him for is, "Please assume the position," which is just a polite way of saying, "Let me smack them titties around." And you might think that this isn't being dominant, as Fisto is asking. Fisto could rip you in half. You're either assuming the position because he asked you politely, or because he's making you assume it. Fisto will rock your world, but at least he's polite about it. Being able to rip your partner in half isn't really required for being a power bottom, however, it definitely helps. And some people are into that, so there's definitely someone out there for Fisto who won't pay to crack him. So overall, Fisto is a veteran bottom. He might just be the most powerful bottom, or bottomist power, depending on how you want to look at it. Call it a technicality, call it cheating, call it whatever you want. Fisto is a certified power bottom regardless. Okay, what does it say about my channel and what I make when I talk about fucking a brain in 2 out of my 6 videos? Is it like a me problem, or are they just coincidences? So yeah, I'm saving the best character for last. Your fucking brain. Yeah, the organ. So anyways, your brain is kind of a fucking dick in New Vegas, and a really bossy one at that. When asking him to return to your cranium, he makes so many unreasonable demands, like not scrolling Instagram Reels 9 hours a day, and just being unfair in general. So your brain is controlling, and bossy, and kind of an asshole, but we knew that already. But is it a bottom? Well, it really depends on how loosely you use the term bottom, and how weird you want to get about it. Does your brain truly contain your consciousness, or is it merely a receiver for something that exists beyond it? if every neuron in your brain were replaced one by one, at what point, if any, would you stop being you? Is your consciousness an emergent illusion created by matter or a fundamental property of the universe itself? Well, I don't really have an answer to that. However, let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that your brain is a bottom because he's tiny and belongs to you in a non-R-word way. Last time I checked, brains also don't have penises. I don't know if they have holes either, but it's much easier to make a hole than to make a penis. So therefore, your brain, yes, you, the viewer's brain, is a power bottom. So those are all of the known power bottoms in Fallout New Vegas. I've already accepted that I'm probably going to have to make a part 2 one day, as I'm certain that I didn't get all of them, as there's just too many characters in Fallout New Vegas to do like a Dexter level background check on. It would take months to get every character. And you can make an argument for any character being a power bottom at the end of the day. Fuck, you could argue Doc Mitchell, for fuck's sakes. So, I don't know. If this video gets something stupid like 100 likes, then I'll make a part 2 where I cover every character for real next time. If the video does somehow reach that milestone, then leave behind comments on who I should cover next. The one caveat to all of this is that I do believe that I covered the most powerful bottoms of New Vegas, but that seems more like a ranking video, and I have enough of those on this channel. Anyways, that about does it for the video, Noodle Gang. Huge thank you for making it this far, and if you enjoyed the video or learned something, make sure to like and subscribe, as anything helps. And with every like and subscribe, I become closer to not being homeless, or an OnlyFans model, or both. Anyways, thanks again for watching. God bless the Enclave. God bless America. Noodle Goggins signing off.